So hello, we got a bit of a different one here today, and what I'm going to do is an art creature tier list. I've done loads of top 10s on the channel, I've never done a tier list before, so let's just get straight into it. Right, so we got a tier list here as you can see, and we got all of these creatures to go through. Some of them, for some reason, I have no idea what they are, so we're just going to see what happens. I assume this first one here is the sort of mech you get at the end of Gen 2. It's a pretty cool way to add a creature, in this case, to a boss fight. Wouldn't really call it a creature, but I feel like I'm gonna whack this thing in B tier. It's a pretty sick thing, but it's only useful in one boss fight. It only deserves B tier for me. The Diplocoolis, it's just, I don't really use it that much. It's got a cool oxygen ability, but I think for me that has to go in C tier. The Diabear is another situation. Like, actually, I'm gonna move it up to B because I do use this thing occasionally. It is a nice creature to use, but it's not one I use too regularly, and I think there are some other creatures like the Tyler which do a little bit of a better job, but it still does deserve to be up there. These Ixies, I'm sorry, D tier. The only thing you get is fish meat, and you know, these Ixies exist, that's cool. You can't tame them though, it's a bit annoying. Daedon has got to be an A tier creature. Bosses would be so much harder if you did not have a Daedon. Not maybe the most essential thing in a boss fight. A UT is going to be a lot more useful, but a Daedon is certainly very, very welcome. Then you've got the Glowtail. I've actually never tamed one of these things, and I'm going to be honest. On Ab, I only really tamed the Shinehorn and the Bulldog. I never tamed this thing, but it works like other Glow pets. I'm going to give it C tier on this one. I'm sorry, Glowtail. Glowtail lovers out there, comment and make yourselves known below. The Dodo, although its head is cropped here, it's going to be like Mike the Headless Chicken or whatever it is. You'll get a picture on screen of that. Maybe blurred. YouTube might demonetize me for that. Dodos, S tier, come on. Be realistic. There is so many Arc Dodo memes out there. It's dead as a dodo. I know it's not an Arc meme. That's the saying. But, you know, it's got to be an S tier. Come on. It's the Dodo. The Rex is getting... I'm struggling between A and B tier here, because while it is a great creature for bosses, it's really not great in the mobility. I think I'm going to have to stick it in A for this one. I think that's where it needs to be. Vasilo, sticking that thing in A. It is, you know, immune to things like the jellyfish and all of that kind of horror that lies in the ocean. It deserves to be an A tier. The Rhino... I can't actually remember what this thing's actual name is, which is amazing. But either way, I don't use this thing that much, but it is useful for ramming things. It does reasonable damage. I don't really use it that much, so for that, I'm going to put it in C, because I don't really have a general opinion on it, and I would feel wrong to put it anywhere below. The Iguanodon, it gets B tier. The fact that it can run infinitely is pretty cool, and it's a pretty decent berry gatherer. Saber-tooth Salmon, good for fish, but nothing else, so I've got to chuck it in E. It's not really that useful to me. Now, the Electrophorus, it's an F tier. If you know, you know. Most of you will know. Broodmother, for some reason there are bosses on here, but it is a creature after all. And what do I think of the Broodmother boss fight? It's a B tier boss fight for me. I like the Broodmother. There are much better boss fights out there in Ark, but it's a good sort of standard to judge things on. I think it deserves a B tier. Now, you know, I love the Barry. The Barry has got to go in S tier. Come on. I talk about the Baryonyx. I rave about the Baryonyx quite a lot, and I think it really does deserve to be in S tier. Liopleurodon can go in F. It's useless. Like, I've tamed one once, maybe, when I still played Archon. When I played Ark on the Switch for a bit, which was a wrong move. But yeah, Liopleurodon, definitely no. Ashatina is B tier. Again, I don't really use much of it, but it can make cementing paste, and you can only tame it with sweet vegetable cake, which is cool, I guess. The Scout, meh, I don't really care about it. D tier. Never really used it on Extinction, and I don't have a general opinion. Now, does this apply to the male Megalosaurus or both Megalosauruses? Either way, I think I'm gonna put it in C tier, because I think it applies to both of them, rather than just the one of them. I can't see any more Megalosauruses on the list, so I'm going to say it's both. It would be a B tier creature if it was just a male. It's a great thatch gatherer, but it's getting discredited because the female one is so rubbish. Megalodon, it's a really, really cool creature for me. And I just love sharks so much. I'm going to put it in A tier. I can't put it in S tier. It would need a little bit of TLC and a little bit of upgrading to get there. There's some work needs to be done on the Megalodon, but I think it deserves the A tier, if I can actually speak. The plesiosaur is a B tier creature. Actually, it's a C tier creature. Sorry, plesiosaur lovers out there, but you know, it's not very mobile. While it has the platform saddle, that's cool. It's not what I want really, and you know, I just don't need it. Essentially, if it got a TLC, that would be really cool. Please, wildcard, put a TLC on the plesiosaur. But for me, it's definitely a C tier creature. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, especially like my most popular video, I really just credit the Oviraptor, and I feel like I should give it a little bit more respect. I'm going to chuck it in A tier because, you know, I put it as the worst art creatures because I never used it, and it's got much more of a use on ASA. So I've got to chuck it in A tier. The abilities that it's got now are really cool, and it deserves to be up there. Morellatops, I like it as a herbivore. It's a B tier creature for me. I'm not like amazingly fussed about it, but it's cool, and it doesn't deserve C tier. It's not quite just meh. It's like, yeah, this is good. Now, in terms of the Chalicotherium, I really like the tame method. It's inventive, but it is a C tier creature for me. I wish there was a lot more that could be done with this creature. There's so much potential in it, but for me, it's not really there. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the Microraptor rather than the Archaeopteryx. I hope I don't get it the wrong way around. It'll come up later on the list. Either way, I'm going to say this is the Microraptor because I think this is what the Microraptor model looks like. And it's F tier. This requires no further discussion. Sarco, it's an A tier. It's pretty good these days. When it first came out, I wasn't too miffed, but I really do like it. I'm also not sure if it came out with the game as well. It's a pretty early creature nonetheless. I wasn't really miffed about it, but now it's got some really good use, and go out to the swamp, tame yourself a Sarco. It'll definitely be worth it. Pachyrhino, I just don't use this thing at all. I really don't use this thing. I'm going to chuck it the highest thing on D tier because I don't think I should discredit it that much. Polovia can go in F. Below the Microraptor, please. Yeah, it doesn't deserve any further discussion. The otter's really cute, but A tier. Maybe B tier. I'm going to put it low A tier because, you know, the otter's cute. It's great, but I feel like, you know, it's not the creature for me in terms of use and productivity. But if you want something that's cool, cute to look at, then the otter's definitely there for you. We've got the Thyla. It's an obvious S tier because, come on, the Thyla is a great creature. It's capable of so much. It can move in ways that loads of other creatures can't move. Yes, it spawns in the redwoods. That's a pain, but it is a really nice creature to have up there. We've got the Jerboa. I like how this thing is capable of viewing weather or alerting you of weather on Scorched. And Scorched is sort of my favourite map on Ark. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I really do like Scorched as. And I like the Jerboa, but it's B tier. It's not A tier, not quite. Although it is cute, the otter is cuter. Phiomia is just a great poop farm. It's in B tier. That's the only use really. Don't use it for anything else. Kairuku is a great polymer farm. That's all I use that creature for as well. It's C tier really. I can't give it anything higher. Angler, great for silica pearls. I'm chucking that thing in B tier too because, you know, they're great for productivity, but I don't think they deserve the two high tiers, and the Angler who definitely do with a little bit of TLC. Spino, for me, just tops A tier. And, you know, I feel like it's above the Rex for obvious reason. It is so much more mobile than the Rex, and I feel like it's a lot better as a creature than the Rex. I really feel like it deserves to be on the list. That sentence did not make sense at all. But we got the Dragon. Let's move on. It's a reasonably difficult boss fight. Sorry about that. My camera just died. But either way, Dragon is better than the Broodmother. That's what we want there. Now, we've got the Carcanos. Come on. We love eating some creatures around. It's really useful. I'm going to chuck it. It feels rude to chuck it above the Rex, but I sort of am. I'm going to put it there. It deserves to be above the Rex. It's amazing to chuck creatures around. It's pretty mobile. You can get places easily, and, you know, it's just generally a great creature, and I really like it for all that it offers. Now, we've got the Arthroplura. I don't use it much as I'm a PvE player, but for you PvP players, it's a pretty good creature. So I'm going to stick it highest thing in B tier. It's not the best thing for me, but for others, it's really useful. Titanosaur, I'm sorry, top of E tier. I don't really care about you. Your taming method is annoying, and, you know, unless you tick the setting box, you only last for 24 hours. You're not as cool as the Titans on Extinction. You deserve E tier. Lystrosaurus, I'm going to just chuck it D tier. Yep, it has a nice ability where you get more XP on your creatures, but that's about it. It's an easy tame. You know, it doesn't really require any further discussion than that. The Megatherium is really, really good. I'm not going to put it above the Spino, but I'm going to put it basically the top of A tier. It deserves to be up this high because, my god, is it great for defeating that Broodmother. It is genuinely amazing. I love it for all that it offers. For Broodmother killing abilities, Ovis is going at the bottom of B tier because I can't give it C tier because Mutton is just simply too good because I'm lazy and I can't make kibble. I just can't be bothered to make kibble, rather. Castoroides, great wood gatherer, but it's a B tier creature for me because I generally use a chainsaw. The gas bags, the bottom of A tier, genuinely, it's great once you've learned to control it properly. Otherwise, it's an absolute nightmare to use. That's why it's the bottom of A tier. But I love the gas bags. I love using the gas bags. And it's so cute. And I really like it. Death worms, they're E tier. You can't tame them. And they're not really that useful. You kill them. Then you can tame something like a mantis, which is a much better creature. Yeah, it requires no further discussion. Bronto is a C tier creature for me. I don't really use much of the Bronto. I don't really like the Bronto that much as a berry gatherer. I'll usually use a Maywing, or occasionally I might use a Stego. I know a Stego's a little bit old-fashioned of me, but I don't use the Bronto that much. It can be quite cool, it can be quite nice, but it's a C tier. I think I'll give it a little bit more merit though, and I'll put it above the Megalosaurus. Onyx can just go in F tier. We don't care about that thing. Manticore is a really nice, easy boss. I'm going to chuck it in the bottom of A tier. I like the Manticore. It's a good boss. It's great for element farming. I'm sure we can all agree. Parasaur, it's going to top my B tier because it's a great beginner tame. I really love it as a beginner tame, and you can do a lot with it. It's reasonably versatile, and it's great for gathering those berries, and, you know, good for general storage as well. It's nice to have. It deserves to be there. Ice Titan is gonna go... It is, like, probably my favorite arc boss. I can't put it above the Spino. I'll put it just behind the Rex. I think that's where it belongs. The UT is getting S tier. Come on. Bosses without the UT is absolute hell. There is no point. Just get yourself a UT. Use it in bosses. A Uteranus is amazing. Procoptodon, C tier. Great for mobility, but perhaps a little old-fashioned in my opinion. But, you know, there's still a lot you could do with a Procoptodon. It's a nice creature. Ichthyornis, I'm going to give a bottom of E tier because it does have some versatility. And I never want to tame one, and I never will tame one. But people do, and some people like them. But apart from that, they're an absolute pain in the arse, and I hate them. So they're getting the bottom of E tier, just because I know some of you out there will really want this thing to be like an S tier or something stupid like that. Hesperornis, did not mean to do that, is D tier. They got golden Hesperornis eggs, that's about it. They're good for polymer, that's about it really. Direwolf, I don't use this thing a lot, so for that reason I'm putting it in B tier. I know a lot of people want it in A tier, or might even put it in S tier, you dog lovers out there. But for me, I don't use it that much, and the lack of saddle is a bit annoying because there's no defense for it, and I feel like, you know, that's nice. Kentro, D tier. You can tame one, but they're not too useful for me because you can't ride them. If you could ride them, they'd be up in C tier, but not really for me. Basilisk it's going high B tier. The taming method is crude and I don't really like it at all. Same as the Titanoboa, you just need harder to get eggs, let's say. Probably Rockdrake eggs if you're taming this thing on Ab. And it's annoying to tame, but it is a really cool creature. I feel like they could have done a bit more with it though. So it's only getting B tier, it's not getting A tier. Dunkleosteus, I love this thing as a creature. It will win my heart if Google would actually let me do my thing. and I'll chuck it at the top of D tier where I think it belongs. Ammonites, they're nice, they're cool, they get you resources, they're going to go in C tier. Quetzals, I would feel wrong not to chuck it just behind the Parasaur in B tier. It is a bit outdated by today's standards, and the Rhino is going to get you a lot of the stuff that the Quetzal would get you, and the Quetzal is a bit slow, and you know, it's very aged and it needs a TLC, so I can't in good mind put this thing in A tier, but I'll give it B tier for the benefit of the doubt. I love the Carno, but I'm not going to chuck it in S tier because I feel like I'm going to get so many hate comments because of that. I'm going to put it behind the Daedon, in front of the Carcanos, and in front of the Rex. Okay. I love the Carno. Okay. I've got just an amazing placebo for this Carno. I love what it does. Okay. And when the TLC came out, I loved it even more. It still needs more work done to it, definitely, but it is a great creature. I do recommend you tame one. Unless you're an aloe lover, then go out there, get yourself an aloe, because it'll probably benefit you a lot more. Dilo, I don't know why I said it like that, but it's C tier. That's all it's getting. Ichthyosaurus, some people might not like this either. C tier again. I don't really use the Ichthyosaurus at all. Again, I'm more of a Megalodon user, and if anything, I'm a Bloodstalker user when it comes to underwater stuff more than anything. So, you know, I don't really use any of these creatures. Rock Golem, it's cool. I'm going to chuck it in B tier. It's slow. I don't really use it that much, but it is good for general defense, and it's got quite a lot of strength behind it. But I rarely tame and use these things. The Overseer is a really, really cool boss concept, and for that, I will put it just behind the Ice Titan. There we go. My brain was not working there, but it's going just behind the Ice Titan. I think that's where it belongs. There's a lot of stages into this thing, and some people think it's annoying, and you know, these things, Rexes, really don't help when it comes to that, because they just get stuck in the tech cave and all of that. But it is a nice boss. I think it's cool. I think it's interesting and a great way to end the island. So I'm going to chuck it up there. Rock Drakes. Come on, get this thing into S tier just behind the UT. I love Rock Drakes. They're great for travel and versatility. They are amazing creatures, and it requires no further discussion onto why this thing deserves to be an instant S tier. Bulldog. Some of you are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to chuck it the bottom of A tier because it's not an S tier creature. I'm sorry. Although, maybe the cutest light pet, but I think the Shinehorn has to take the win for me. Or maybe the most memorable light pet. I think it's going to go there. Look, we got the Featherlight. There we go. I'm really struggling with my art creature names today. And this is just going to go B tier because I don't really use this thing. I tame one like once or something, and it's just meh for me. This, whatever that, like, what are they called? I've got no idea. I haven't played Extinction in a little bit. Bottom of, I'll just chuck them in D tier because I just don't really use them. For most creatures that I don't really use, I'm just going to put them in C or D because I think that's where they belong. Metapithecus is a great farm again for element like the Manticore, so I'm just going to put it just behind the Manticore. I'm going to move the Bulldog in front though because I think that deserves a spot a little bit higher than that. Anki is top of A tier. It's not quite an S tier creature for me. Metal is an insanely important resource in Ark, but it's not quite that important to me, and you can still gather metal without an Anki. It is much nicer with an Anki, but it is not an S tier creature for me. It doesn't live up to the levels of all of these creatures. The fact that the Dodo is still at the top as well. Meganura, I just don't care. Actually, I'll give it a little bit higher because it's useful for chitin. Pego, I couldn't care less at all. Terrorbird, bottom of D tier. Now, Velo. This is another S tier creature for me. I love the Velo, okay? This thing just being a portable turret, it's such a cool creature concept and it works so well. I love it so well. It is really, really nice that the Velo is a creature that exists, and I love the Velo as a creature that exists. It truly is an S tier creature for me. Love that thing. We've got Nameless, D tier. Yeah, you can get Nameless Venom from them. That's about it you're going to use it for. Troodons can just go in F. I'm sorry, Troodon. Your tame method is too horrible for me to even consider you a viable tame. Shoutouts, I'll put it just behind the Legicties to keep with that water theme. Don't really use these things a lot. Some people really like them, but I'm not a Shoutouts lover. I can't even say words today. Packy, I will give it the benefit of the doubt and put it at the bottom of C tier because a lot of you do like the Packy. And for the trike, I'm going to stick it just behind the broodmother. It's a nice creature, but I always go for the stego over the trike or a parasaur beforehand. I don't usually end up taming it that much. Now, Forest Titan is nice. It's basically Groot, but Arc Edition. It does not get A tier status for me though, but I do think I prefer it from the dragon and the iguanodon, so I'm going to stick it there. I might have put it next to the dragon, but I can't be bothered to try for all of that, so I'm not going to. Moss Chops, it's nice for gathering some resources, but it's not the creature that I want and I used a lot, but I will give it B tier. I know a lot of you have probably put that thing in A tier, but I don't really use it that much. Hyenodon can go in the top of D tier because I don't use these things at all. Yes, I didn't get it wrong. Archaeopteryx is just bottom of D tier. I'm sorry, the glide suit sort of makes this thing a little bit useless when it comes to it. Compy can go E tier. Tempted to go F, but it's not quite that bad. Pulmonoscorpius, bottom of B tier. Coelacanth can go just behind the saber-tooth salmon. Equus is a really nice tame. It deserves A tier. Not quite Anki A tier though. I'll push it back a little bit. Actually, I'll push it back. Push it back there. Sorry, my camera just did a thing again. It's not playing ball today. But yeah, the Equus is going there, just behind the Carno, where it belongs. It's good for knocking out creatures. That is to very much its credit. B can go in not B tier and D tier, because obviously it's a B. That's the joke. How funny. This has to go F. I'm sorry. It's a great source of chitin in a pinch, but they are too annoying. The Moser, where did I put the Plesio? I'm sorry, it's a similar train of thought with the Moser and the Plesio for me. This is not a creature that I use often, and it really does need a little bit of TLC, in my opinion. We got King Kaiju, or the Alpha King Titan. The Owl effing Titan, as I would always call it. Cool boss, great concept, but bottom of A tier for me. It requires a lot of preparation. Snow Owl, why am I moving things all over the place? No, Rex, get back. Get back. There we go. Snow Owl is going top of A tier. It's almost an S tier creature, and genuinely it should be an S tier creature, but it's not quite. It's on the brink for me. The healing ability is nice, and you know, it's a great fly. It's got the glide ability that the Griffin has. It's an amazing creature, but it's not quite there in S tier. Managamas are buggy as hell, so they are going in B tier. In terms of the Mammoth, I know loads of you really like the Mammoth. It's great after the TLC. I will chuck it at the bottom of A tier. I don't really use the Mammoth, but a lot of you seem to really love it, and you know, there's a lot of good things going for it. It deserves to be there. Ravager as well is a similar story. It deserves to go in A tier as well. It's a nice, versatile creature that's capable of doing damage. It's got the pack buff as well, which is a nice ability to have. It's a nice ability for it to have, and it's good. Pelagornis, I occasionally whip this thing out, especially if I tame one, but you know, not really. C tier creature for me. Mantis is another, I'm tempted, it's going in there. It's another S tier creature for me because I love the Mantis. I'm a bit of a sucker when it comes to the Mantis. That's what I think. I think the Mantis is a great creature. I love its versatility and the fact that you can wield weapons with it. It's an amazing one, and I love this thing. Dimetrodon, don't really use it. I'm chucking it in E tier. It's not really that useful. Same as the Ammonite. It's a bit of a knob, really. We got, what is this thing called? Not the Seeker. I can't remember the name, and it probably won't be up on screen at the moment. This is going in C tier because I don't really use it. I'm not even sure if you can tame that thing. I know in modded versions you can tame it and use it as a glide suit, but I don't think you can do that in vanilla Arc. It's really cool when you do that though. Can't for the life of me remember the name of it though. Dimorphodon is going in the top of B tier because this thing is really useful actually. when it comes to just having a small thing to kill things with. It does quite a lot. Now we've got the depressed elephant Paraceratherium. I can't give it D tier, but I can give it C tier because it's just unhappy. Glowbug, sort of useful, but not very. Bottom of C tier. Vulture, I don't care about at all. And they're really annoying on Scorch, so I'm going to put them the top of E tier. Manta can just go fuck itself. It doesn't deserve to be here. Rockwell boss on Aberration. Like it, but I don't like it that much. So it's a B tier boss fight for me. I would say, what are these things called? I think it begins with E. Again, this is going to have to go up on screen. But yes, these things can teleport. They are amazing to go around on, but they're not. They are an A tier creature for me. I actually kind of like these things. They're not the best for attacking, in my opinion, but they are really nice and they got that great mobility, so I'm happy with it. Piranhas, again, just F tier. I don't know what this is, okay? I might have really embarrassed myself here, but I don't know what this is. So this is going to go in C tier. It's some kind of mech, I can infer that, but apart from that, I can infer nothing. Titanoboa used to be useful with the kibble system, but now it's a D tier creature. Really, Megalosaurus, it's an A tier for me because it's great on AB and it's just a nice creature to have and use. I think it's nice. It's going in A tier. Wyverns, because of their turning circle, top of B tier. If you had an acceptable turning circle wyvern, then you'd be able to go in A tier, but you can't go in A tier for the sake of this video because your turning circle is rubbish. In terms of the Megalania, if you say it in an Australian accent, it sounds better. But I'm not going to say that because there'll be something on screen, maybe. Or it will just be me saying no when editing this. It's going in C tier just because it's got a funny name in a foreign accent. Now, going to the Doedicurus, Dodix, Doeuthinkosaurus, whatever you want to call this thing. It's useful for gathering stone. It deserves an A tier position, in my opinion. Solid A tier tame. Saber is, where did I put the direwolf? I probably put it in B tier. It's going to go next to the direwolf because I feel they're on the same level as creatures. The Thyla just exceeds them in ability. Bilzabufo, absolute mad lad when it comes to the cementing paste gathering. So for that reason, it's got to go in the bottom of A tier. It's a great creature. Love that thing. Oh my god. How can I not remember this thing? It's the ape thing that's like a human, and it's like not Megapithecus. It's close to Megapithecus. It's got Pithecus in it. It's cool, it's nice, but it's a little outdated. It's gonna go at the top of C tier. I swear I've embarrassed myself so much with creature names in this video. Dung Beetle, again, C tier. If you want your toiletries done, the Dung Beetle is going to be a great creature for that. But apart from that, you know, that's not going to be the way to go for me. Reaper, this is obviously the Reaper King, not the Reaper Queen, because you can't tame that thing. It's an S tier. Its taming method is exciting, fun, enjoyable. You don't really get that on any other creature apart from the Rhino that literally stole the taming method of this thing. I swear. I had a thought moment. I was like, is that can't be? No. Sorry, my brain had a moment where I thought that mech thing might have been the Rhino Ignatha. Either way, this is going in S tier. We got the moth thing. I think that's what it's called. It's not called that. It's called the Lymantria. It is a solid C tier tame. It doesn't do damage, and that's really annoying. Aranio, I'll give it some credit and put it in D tier because on Mobile Arc, or Arc 2.0, or whatever it's called, I'm not really that up to date on that stuff, it's pretty nice. The jellyfish can just die. I don't care about that. The Miso, for its cuteness, gets C tier, and it is sort of useful for lockpicking. I thought they would together for some reason. Theory is an A tier creature for me again. I like the Theory. It's useful. It can gather a heck of a lot really easily. I think it works fun and effectively, and I think that's B tier. I can't see. It goes in A tier. There we go. I need some classes, man. I don't actually. I'm just thinking quickly. Griffin is another A tier creature. It's going to go with the Theory. I love this creature, not as much as the Snow Owl. That's why the Snow Owl's up top there and the Griffin is down. I'm sure you can infer that stuff up here is best. The Dodo is best. Either way, it's got the really nice glide ability. It was the creatures to introduce it. Ragnarok's a really accessible map, great for Ark players to get on, and the Griffin's a great creature, especially for raiding the Wyvern trenches. And here, look, it's above the Wyvern because everyone knows the Griffin is better than the Wyvern. Now, we've got the Roll Rat, or just Naked Mole Rat, but big. It's a B tier creature for me. I don't use it that much because I don't play a lot of AB, but I will be playing AB. I've got a Let's Play series that's coming out soon on the Patreon. So if you want that, there are links in the description for all of that stuff. Now, we got the Argentavis. I see we've got the old model here, and it's going just above the Snow Owl because I use this thing a heck of a lot more, and it's been there for me in those dark times, and I think that's where it's needed most. Shinehorn, where did I put the Bulldog? It's going one above because it is just cuter and it is just superior. The Bulldog may have the branding, but the Shinehorn definitely has the cuteness factor. Gallimimus, Syntac, you're not going to like me very much, but I will chuck it at the top of D tier where it belongs. Phoenix, it's a very cool concept of a creature. I don't really like the tame method that much. It's going the top of C tier. Yes, it can smelt metals, but it's not quite a B tier tame for me. Tapejara, Tape Jar, whatever you want to call this thing. Tapihara or whatever it is. This is it's on the same par as the Phoenix, but I'm going to put it a little bit lower because the idea is not as great. Yes, the mobility is great on this thing in terms of all the directions you can move and face. That's fabulous, but I don't think it's what you want really, and it's not what I want, especially when it comes to things. My camera is about to die, so now I'm going to get through these things quickly. Stegosaurus is an A tier creature. I love using the Stego. It's a great creature. Raptor is a B tier creature because they were so annoying when they could pounce on you, and I feel like just get a Carno instead of a Raptor. Yes, the Shadow was unlocked at a much higher level, but you might as well, and if you've got a Deinonychus about, then you know. Giganotosaurus, a little bit outdated these days, but I'll chuck it in A tier for sympathy points. Now we've got I can't remember what these things are called, Thorny Dragons, there we go. D tier because these things are really annoying. Pteranodon, great early game tame. It's going in A tier, that's where it belongs. Now we've got, I can't register what this is. It's the Desert Titan, there we go. My brain figured it out. And it is a B tier tame. It can be cheesed really easily, and although it's a flying boss, it flies really slowly. It's not very cool in my opinion. In the grand scheme of the Titans, the other two are just superior. If the Desert Titan is your favourite Titan, you're wrong. Cat Pro is going in C. It's really annoying, but when you tame one, it's kind of fun to ride around on. Allosaurus, this is another, it's not quite S tier, but it's going above. No, I can't do that to the RG. It's going below the RG. It's a great creature. It's got bleed ability. It's better than the Carno, really, when I think about it realistically, and nostalgia doesn't come into it. I feel like it definitely deserves the spot here, so it's going here. This is why the tier is happening. I'm showing you my opinions. Cob Enemies is C tier. It's done a little bit dirty when it comes to how it's portrayed in Ark and just how it is in Ark. A lot more could be done with it with some TLCs. The Diplo is D tier. It can't deal any damage. While it can gather berries, there's not much more it can do than that. The Gatcha's a little bit done dirty as well. B tier. You can get some nice loot from it. I just don't really use it as much since the nerf, and I don't play much Extinction. Now, I haven't touched, my camera did another dive, but I haven't really used these new AB creatures. So for any creatures that I don't know, I'm going to put in C. It's just, I should have made another tier, but I'm going to put it in C. So it's going in C. If you get mad at the list at the end, just know the creatures I haven't used yet are going in C. Okay, the Lamprey, cool idea, but not great execution. I'll put it in the top of E tier. These things are so annoying in boss fights, I hate them to death. Leeches, just horrible. I don't like them. Deinonychus, if you know me, you know where I'm going to put this. I'm sorry, Dodo, the Deinonychus is better than you. If you've watched any of my videos, you know. The Fish Swarms, terrible, E tier. Mega Chelon. Pretty cool creature. I'm going to chuck it in B tier because I like the thing. This is a Ferox, but I was confused for a second. It's a nice creature. It's, no, it's higher up for me. I'm going to say top of B tier. I don't use it that much, but when I do use it, it is fun and I like it, and that is cool. These things can just die in a hole. I hate those things. Again, I haven't used this new creature as well, so it's going in C tier. I will, when I do a final list of this and it shows up, there'll be a don't know column. Don't worry about that. Bloodstalker, it's got to go up in S for me as well. I love the Bloodstalker so much. It is so great as an underwater creature. It deserves way more respect. Magmasaur used to be someone on my channel that loved the Magmasaur to death, but it's a bottom of B tier for me creature, because although it's nice, it's kind of cool, it's not really what I want. Was that like cute Ferox as well? Because this looks Feroxy as well, so I'm just going to put it where the other Ferox is. That's where it's going, I guess. Sort of weird images, but we'll go with it, I guess. Now, no, this is a parakeet fish swarm. That's a microbe swarm, but it's not F tier. It just goes with the other one. They're basically the same. Right, I really hate my camera today. It has died so many times. This hopefully will be the last time. Either way, this Gen 2 boss is... Sorry, it's Gen 1. Is fantastic. I love it as a concept. It's really difficult. And actually, although what I said about the Snow Titan, it is actually my favourite art boss out there. And I think that's where it deserves to belong. The Moda, it's an underwater boss. But apart from that, it can go with the Plesiosaur and the Mosasaur because it's a little bit meh. I don't think it's as good. The tech stuff, I don't really like the tech stuff that much. So, sorry, tech stuff. One of my lights has died as well. This is just, it's going to hell, this video. Same as the Skiff. I'll put it a little bit higher up though, because I think the Skiff has a little more use. I don't really use these things. I don't really like tech that much. So that's where they're going there. Now we've got the Tropignathus. It's a really nice creature, and I like this creature. It's not quite going that high. It's going there. Come on, there we go. Finally. Yeah, it's going there. That's where it belongs as a creature. I think that's where it deserves to be, and that's where I'm going to put it for obvious reasons. Now we've got the Shadowmane. It's another S tier creature because the Shadowmane is amazing. It's fantastic. If you've never used the Shadowmane before, come on, get to grips with things. Start using the Shadowmane. You're a baby player if you don't use the Shadowmane. Unless you don't have Gen 2 or a map that has the Shadowmane. Noglin, cool, great, amazing creature. I can't put it quite that high, and I can't discredit it that much. So it's going there. It's a cool, fun, interesting creature. I think it deserves to be there. And this, the Seeker or whatever it's called, it terrifies me, and it is going in D tier. I would put it in E tier, but it's cool. I don't know what these things are, but they look similar to this thing, the Seeker. So I'm going to put it there. Void Worm, nice, cool, but a pain to tame, so it's going C tier for me. Now we've got the Exomech, the Beast, and I don't really use this thing, but I'm going to put it in B tier because it is cool and it can do a lot of stuff. Is this the weird plant thing? It is the weird plant thing. The weird plant thing's cool, but it kind of creeps me out, and for that I'm going to give it B tier because it's a really cool, interesting idea. Now we know the drill by now. The Maywing has got to go up into S tier. There's no two ways about that. The Maywing is just pure greatness. It deserves nothing less. Tech Strider, loads of you really love this creature, and you know, I'm not actually the biggest fan of it. It's a great creature, don't get me wrong. It's just, I like to be very inefficient with my harvesting, and I hate myself. So we're going to chuck that in the bottom of A tier. Astrodelphis, nah, it deserves one higher than the Tech Strider and the Giga for some reason. There we go. It's a nice, cool creature, but when they run away, it's really annoying. Now we've got Rockwell in Gen 2. Cool boss fight. Was supposed to be the end, but it is not the end, and for that I will chuck it below the plant thing. The plant thing is better than you, Rockwell. You need to live to regret this, but in fact he did not live to regret this. Armaga, horrible tame method. Sorry to anyone who likes the Armaga. I do not like this thing. Cinema Crops is an insane creature. It is fabulous, and it does top the RG and the A tier creatures. It is amazing. If you've never tamed one before, get yourself a Cinema Crops. What are you doing? We got the boss on Crystal Isles. I'm not too fussed about it, so it's going in C tier below the Void Worm. That's where it belongs. Dinopithecus, another great creature. So I'm going to put it not that high on A tier. It's going to be one below the Carno, because I'm sure that's going to annoy some of you. That's where it belongs. Crystal Wyvern. Love this thing to death. It's just great, but it's not quite an S tier creature. I'm going to put it in front of the Allo, because I know there's someone watching right now that really, really likes Allosauruses, and this is going to piss them off a little bit. And the last creature, I don't know what this is, okay? I haven't really played some of the newer stuff. This is going in the I don't know column. These three creatures here. And I'm going to show you the final tier list on screen now, which you can see. And you can see now there's an I don't know list, but there isn't at the time that I'm saying this. Anyway, that is all I've got for today. Hope you like the new sort of theme with this tier list. If you want me to do any more tier lists on things, then comment that below and I will see what I can do in the scheme of things. I've got a Patreon, like I said. There's going to be an Arc series starting up there soon, so don't miss out. I'm so horrified by my camera now, because I swear if it dies again, I'm literally just going to punch this thing in the face. But that's all I have to say for today, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Now, of course, we must shout out our Patreons, Ekaterina Pechkova and Karina Thorne, who are our paid Patreon members at the moment. Thank you for all your support. I really appreciate everyone on this list. Everyone else is, of course, free members. Thanks for the support, though.